Hi, I wanted to talk with you today about the difference between management and technology. Welcome to the Lear Innovations channel. My name is Edmund Williams, and I wanted to introduce kind of a foundational topics section to my channel here, where I talk about some of the ways that you can look at the world that certainly changed my perspective and helped me solve problems, and I'm hoping they're also going to be useful to you. And today I want to talk about the difference between management and technology. And on the surface, I get that those two things don't look similar, but both are the application of expertise. So with management, you have expertise that you are applying hands on. It's something that you're getting out there, you're in person, you're taking care of doing the things that need to be done and applying your expertise to doing that. With technology, I have the ability to build something that is an expression of my expertise, and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to build this thing that allows other people to take advantage of my expertise without me being there in person. And the reason that this is important is because this very issue is one of the biggest limitations of regenerative agriculture. So, regenerative agriculture has just this incredible potential to repair the world that we live in. We really need just more and more people converting conventional farms to regenerative agriculture, repairing those environments and repairing the ecosystems and giving them the ability to repair the damage that we humans have done to our planet. But at this point, all regenerative agriculture is management. It's something where you need a person out there with expertise, and they're going to be able to get their hands on and actually repair that environment, manage it, make sure that the right organisms are in there and then the right interactions are happening, and all of this other stuff that's going on. They need to be able to observe it and apply the knowledge that they've learned. But again, these are all very heavily based on like deep expertise. So permaculture design course takes a couple of weeks and can cost thousands of dollars. The holistic management certification is very involved. Involves going through all of this training that also includes a 2 week hands-on course that can be very expensive. And so every different method is something that is going to take a really considerable investment and time, and not everybody's going to be able to do that, either from a time standpoint or a willingness standpoint or a financial standpoint. And so it's something that's a little bit tricky to do. So what we need is something that could potentially be technology to help that fix. Now, one of the things that you'll see in a lot of regenerative agriculture is that a lot of these methods tend to eschew technology, and I want to say that technology is not the problem. Technology is a tool, and how you use the tool is what's going to determine its impact. A hammer can be used to build or it can be used to destroy. It's just dependent on the impact, the intent of the person who's using it. And so a Lear garden was very specifically designed to be regenerative technology for regenerative agriculture. And basically what it's doing, the way that it's being regenerative agriculture is by using the composting method as part of the technology. So the biology itself is a significant chunk of what makes it automated. So we put in wood chips, and the wood chips are breaking down while and creating soil. So I don't actually put in soil. The wood chips are breaking down into soil. As they break down, they're feeding the soil organisms. The soil organisms then are creating a lot of the automation that you really need to make the garden work. So they're finding the nutrients and feeding them to the plants. They're maintaining the soil chemistry. They're basically just taking care of the whole system in a way that allows it to be more automated, something that's going to be a whole lot less effort. But above and beyond that, one of the things that I really love about a Lear garden is that when those wood chips are broken down, they compact. They don't let the water flow through as well anymore. So number one, the heavy organic matter in the soil holds moisture really well, and number two, as it kind of compacts and fills the pore spaces, the flood and drain of the system doesn't really flow like it's supposed to, and so it sort of plugs up, and then the whole soil goes anaerobic. So the only solution to that is to pull that out and then replace it with fresh wood chips. And the stuff that comes out of there, we take that out, we sift it, and that's called Lear Soil Amplifier. And one of the things that's really amazing about Lear Soil Amplifier is that when you're making topsoil, so if you're talking about how topsoil is made, the stuff that really makes topsoil is actually the plants themselves. The plants, through their roots, pump compounds into the soil, some of which change the soil directly, some of which are encouraging certain biological activity, but it's that combination that makes topsoil. It's not the compost that you're putting in there, it's the plants themselves that make the topsoil. And so Lear Soil Amplifier is the only compost that's created under the roots of living plants, and by being under the roots of living plants, it has some of those topsoil elements that you're looking to create over time with regenerative agriculture. So if you wanted to create topsoil, which is one of the really big benefits of regenerative agriculture, if you just rewild an area and leave it alone, it can take 100 years to regenerate that soil carbon that makes the topsoil, and back up to just an average level. I've heard numbers even as high as 500 or 1,000 years, depends on your environment and the conditions there. But if you can employ regenerative agriculture, you can knock a couple of decades off of that. And so it's, you're going from 100 years, is more than a couple decades. You can go from 100 years to, based on the calculations that I've run, probably in the neighborhood of 20 to 30 years before you're hitting kind of average numbers of soil carbon. So with a Lear garden, what you're doing is you're creating a large amount of this soil amplifier, and depending on what kind of an impact, it's something that can be spread out over a number of acres that just basically you're applying what it is you've been trying to create. And so that makes, again, it's almost a second technology for regenerative agriculture. So on the one hand, you have the Lear garden, which is regenerative on its own. It's creating the habitat, it's creating soil, it's producing food at the same time. Those are basically the core attributes of regenerative agriculture. But then once you take the soil out and you apply it elsewhere, then you're also managing land, or regenerating land that you didn't have to manage. And so it's something that I think has just enormous potential in terms of helping to be that technological solution that's going to help bring regenerative agriculture to more people. So again, the difference between management and technology, both are very important, but if we can find better ways of technology, that only helps the process.